we can skip this question
Yeah.
because I don't want you getting in trouble. But if you can, you mentioned earlier that there are some government obstacles as well towards air purifiers.
Yeah.
Is there any light you can shed on that?
Yeah. I mean, look, they don't have an easy problem, the government, right? And I'm not like blaming them or whatever. I think what Elon and is trying to do with the Department of Government Efficiency makes a lot of sense. That in some places, private sector is better equipped to solve the problem than the government is. If it's defense, by no means should like lay people start like building armies and things like that.
Yeah.
But like technology, I think we can build better than the government can. So I think the political challenge remains that there is this stack of money that's lying. There's like clean air budgets, etc. I think if I'm not wrong, there's across multiple budgets, little over $1 billion sitting unused in India. In different states, etc., for clean air or associated programs. The thing is that they want to do things which will signal progress, but it's not like it's not a COVID equivalent, right? Like find the vaccine and it'll be fixed, right? It's a multi-pronged problem. It's very nuanced. Like if you look at stubble burning, it's a logistics problem. It's not an engineering problem. I don't expect the government to operate logistics, for example, at the level of a Zepto, to be able to solve this, right? The industrial is a regulation problem, right? The regulation exists. It's not being enforced. There is a reason it's not being enforced, right? That is not a problem that even certain ministers have the ability to solve, because it's always like, hey, the industrialist is interacting with the government in a certain way and there are certain exchanges, so they get leeway in some of the pollution that they do. On the other side, like if you take steel industry, they have complete freedom to pollute today because steel is one of the fundamental drivers of power in the world. China produces 50% of the steel in the world. India is trying to catch up. We're 1/10 or lower, right? If I remember correctly. So the government wants steel industry to grow at any cost. But what is that cost environmentally? So they're doing it for national security and economic welfare, but then there's a huge externality cost by it, right? And if they add regulation to it, the cost of steel increases. It doesn't become viable globally. Like Indian steel will not be looked at the same manner as Chinese steel. So there's like, they are in a catch-22, right? So what is it that they can also do? I think one is to not hide it. Today, there's, if I remember correctly, earlier this year, like there was some kind of like ban on low-cost sensors, that they don't want people to know this information. That's, I think, not okay. I think you should allow people to measure, talk about whatever they want to. It's like a democratic right to know what you're breathing. I think you need to enforce the use of air purification systems indoors. So like every school should have it, every hospital should have it. It's like, you have your fire and safety check, you should have your air quality check. Someone should be able to come and, land you in a lot of trouble if your air quality is not good, or you're making people breathe bad air in your office, right? On industrial side, I think they can create incentive programs, right? So if you spend this on this kind of environmental equipment and on random checks, we are ensuring that you're actually complying. Here's your tax benefit, right? So there's no real money cost to the government. There, in fact, it'll grow the economy, right? Like if we get a lot of business, we pay taxes, we create those many jobs, we run factories, it's adding to the economy, right? So I think these are like things they can do where you'll have an impact. Stubble burning, this gives a couple of, like, and this is actually an ongoing conversation with one of the groups that I'm part of with these government and lawyers and then things like that. Is that, can we get a bunch of grant money and ACT, which is like a venture-backed organization in India? So all the venture capital people have put in a lot of like grant money to donate to certain causes like this. Can ACT finance, the stubble capture activity every year? Because there are companies that can use the stubble, make alternate materials, and actually make money out of it. So it's a stubble logistics problem. There's like, they're talking to the large guys like Delivery and Urban Clap founder and all who are on these meetings, and they're all of us are doing it pro bono. We have no, there's no organization. It's a bunch of like people who know certain things trying to add value. These large companies are saying, hey, I have a CSR budget, we'll pick up the stubble for free. So that's the level at which it's going. So there's like action, there's like the right people talking about these things. I'm very lucky to get invited to be part of this and be the tiniest person in the room in these activities. But so these are some things that can actually help. I don't think putting up random purifiers outdoors or hiding data is going to help solve the problem.